Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Bob Dickerson with NTHBLK on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Coming to you this morning just to chat for a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're being smart, smarter than the folks that are going to Trump rallies. I promise. I think that most of the folks who are on here with me are smarter than the folks that are going to Trump rallies. I can pretty much assure you guys of that fact. Isn't that amazing that people will go and sort of with disdain for science, for the fact that now over 200,000 people have died because of COVID, that not just conventional wisdom, but science and experts have said that obviously the way to spread it is from person to person through close personal contact, through droplets that come when we talk and breathe and laugh and sing or scream. That's how you get it. But yet and still, and that masks are, an appropriate way of protecting yourself. And to see people in a crowd around strangers, no mask, no social distancing, because this president has decided to have an event that's difficult. I mean, honestly, that is really difficult to even see that happen. So anyway, I'm just hoping that all of my friends and all the folks who are, on here following me are not participating in that foolishness, because that is absolutely what it is. It is definitely foolish. Darnell, good morning, Darnell. How are you doing? Got a few things that are happening and I wanted to tell you about. I don't know why I'm not seeing the comments on YouTube, but anyway, got a few things that I want to tell you about. A couple of things that are, in way of announcements. And the first thing I want to announce is I want to invite you all to listen to the NTHBLK broadcast on the Voice America Radio Network tonight. That is happening tonight, 6 o'clock. And you'll hear my guest. And my guest is none other than Katrina Norris Carter. Most of you in Birmingham know her. In fact, if you don't know her, I don't know where you've been. If you've been in Birmingham for the past, 10, 20 years, then you've seen her work. And she's done a lot of work in the voters' rights movement, a lot of work with women, women's rights, a lot of work standing up to systems that systems that have power and sometimes use their power to overpower people. She's been a woman who stood up to them, and she's been real pivotal and instrumental in working in Selma, her hometown, with the Bloody Sunday reenactment, the Jubilee, and the celebration each and every March, where we celebrate the crossing of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. But anyway, she's my guest tonight, 6 o'clock on Voice America. You can get it live at 6, voiceamerica.com. Of course, you can get it on demand at any time. voiceamerica.com, Bob Dickerson on the Variety channel at Voice America. So encouraging you to watch that. And of course, I'm also encouraging all of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe, like us on Facebook, share us on Facebook, on Instagram, and follow me on Twitter at B Dickerson Jr. at B Dickerson Jr. on Twitter. I'm on all of them. LinkedIn, it's Bob Dickerson, maybe Robert Dickerson. Of course, you can visit my website, which is bobdickerson.com. Hey, Clarissa, good morning. Constance, Connie, how you doing today? Good morning. Good morning to everybody out there. So also, I want to mention a couple of other things. You know, I'm involved with the Myriad Gospel Music Countdown. Now, my partners, Ron Marshall and Doug Ford, and I launched the Myriad Gospel Music Countdown on Valentine's Day, 1996. So we're coming up on our coming up on our 25th birthday, 25th anniversary of the countdown. And so the countdown has been more like a ministry. It's got some business elements. Obviously, it's radio. We're on right now, somewhere in the 70, 80 stations nationwide. In Birmingham, you can get us through our website. You can get us through the website, which is gospelcountdown.com. So for those of you who are trolling radio stations in Birmingham looking for the countdown, I just want to let you know where you can get it. You can get it at gospelcountdown.com. You can listen to the current show. You can listen to past shows. You can hear the features. And so just follow the site. Now we are working on some stuff that we think is going to make us more accessible. You know, on radio, you got to be at your radio or listening to your radio at a certain time. And now with all of these, with being online, for example, even with this Facebook Live, you don't have to get up at 7. You can hear it whenever you want to, because you can go to Facebook and hear it, and then people share and it shows up on your feed and so forth. So so we're working on that for the countdown. So you'll be able to get it, not just on demand, because you can now through the website, but we're working on putting it on other platforms so it can be available to you and accessible to you on demand and at any time. So I'm excited about doing that. Hey, Benny, good morning. Really excited about doing it. It's something that we enjoyed doing for many, many years. Again, it's more like a ministry than a business. And I'm just so happy that, Ron and Doug and Bridget Cannon Scott we've stayed together. Again, we've been a team for almost 25 years, bringing you the pearl of gospel music, the Myriad Gospel Music Countdown. And then I also want to mention to you again, the A.G. Gaston Business Institute. Our website is gastonbusinessinstitute.com. We are putting together a directory. I think we're up to about, I guess maybe 400 or 500 businesses now who have either put their own information in or sent it to us and we put it in. So you can go on the website. You can add your business to the business listing. We're featuring those businesses, and we're doing some other things. We're working to make sure that through our site, your business gets exposure. And we know that's what it's all about. Getting your business exposure is important. We want you to be exposed to not only Black folks who want to support each other, and we certainly need to do that. As a matter of fact, the fate of Black business really kind of lies squarely in the hands of Black consumers. And as a consumer, I think it's important that we go out of our way to support each other. Every time I start having that conversation, I think about my friend Maggie Anderson, who was at the A.G. Gaston conference last year. Floyd, good morning. Shirley, good morning. I think about, the commitment that Maggie Anderson made to Black businesses by shopping for a full year and spending all of her family's money for groceries, cosmetics, leisure, everything with Black companies. Now, that was really difficult for a whole year, but she made a commitment and she lived up to it. But I think that those of us need to make a commitment. Now, we need to make a commitment to spend more than we currently do with Black companies. If the Black consumers would increase their spending with Black companies up to 10%, that means it's lower than 10% now. Okay, it's a little sad. It's lower than 10%. If we increased it up to 10%, we probably eliminate Black unemployment, because typically businesses hire people that look like the owners. So follow Maggie Anderson, the Empowerment Experiment. She's on all the social media. She's always, promoting the fact that we owe it to each other and to ourselves to be supportive of our businesses. And sometimes it takes a sacrifice like Maggie made. Sometimes it takes being just a little bit more assertive, aggressive, a little bit more inquisitive. Maybe you have to do more research. Maybe you have to drive another mile. Maybe you have to pay $1 more. But I promise you, I believe that it's worth it. So once again, I want to make sure that you can get into the get your business listed into our website, A.G. Gaston Business Institute, and that website is GastonBusinessInstitute.com, GastonBusinessInstitute.com. So just want to make sure that that you know all those things. So I have been introducing a lot of words to us through, from time to time on this little session. I've introduced fascism and misogyny, genocide, bifurcation, kleptocracy, and some others. Kind of thinking about what's some of the words I use to describe our government, our system, where we're headed, our leaders and leader. It's just kind of difficult to think of nice words to say, and all of these words are pretty much not as nice. And one of the thing I thought about, and that had been on my mind, just looking at what's happening, and maybe even what as we're going along, is chaos. Hey, Aunt, good morning. Chaos. Now, I remember watching Get Smart. It was the secret agent comedy that came out, I guess, back in the 70s, and then get the U.S. intelligence that Get Smart and Agent Smart worked for. They fought against chaos, and chaos was the sinister group that was always trying to do something, mischievous. But we got some real chaos going on in this country, and I'm chuckling as I say it, but it's no laughing matter. We have chaos at our federal government. We have chaos in our federal court system. We have, and rest in peace, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a great woman, a feminist, someone who did understand that we needed to ensure the rights. We needed to ensure rights to men and women. We need to ensure that women had rights, that Black people had rights, and also that men had rights. We needed to fight for equal pay and equal treatment. And so she'll be missed. Her position on the board should be missed. Hey, Rita. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Kimberly. But we have a lot of chaos going on in our country. We have chaos in our streets. And no matter what side you're on, we have chaos in our police departments that has contributed to a lot of the chaos in the streets. But we got chaos that starts with the White House, comes down through Congress, and then it spreads. Because right now there is a lack of leadership. The leadership that we have does not appear to be moral. It doesn't appear to be morally based. In my opinion, moral leadership would be doing quite the opposite of what's happening from the highest level of our government. And it's not just the federal government, even in some of our states. The highest level of our government should be encouraging people to stay safe and try to protect themselves from a global pandemic that seems to have landed so hard in what's supposed to be the smartest country on the planet. And we're the worst in terms of how we're fighting this virus. It's a lack of leadership. It's chaotic. That's what it is. a lack of leadership that's causing chaos. It's a lack of leadership when we have a person in the highest position in our country that is sowing discord among the citizens of the United States of America, who is feeding into a conspiracy theory about an election that's coming up in 5 or 6 weeks, and who is obviously pitting Americans against Americans. If listening to him, you would think that the Democrats were part of came from not just a different nation, that they came from almost a different planet to sow that kind of dissension is kind of un-American, and certainly what America always led us to believe that it was. It certainly didn't meet the press clippings that we set up for this country. It's chaotic. And of course, chaos in the streets because a lot of people are fed up. And a lot of people are fed up with the way communities are being policed. A lot of people are fed up with the fact that there is not equal opportunity for all folks. A lot of people are fed up, and some people on the other side are fed up because, they've been allowed to display their racial attitudes, and their racial attitudes has proved and is proving every day that they are fed up with the progress that they think that people of color are making in this country. So people are just fed up all over the place. And we got America at a crossroads. America is at a crossroads. I've said it before. It's a moment in time because it's difficult to understand how the America that you read about in the history books would have 200 plus years later elected Donald Trump. It's difficult to understand that now racism that had been hidden, it didn't really subside, as we know, and some of us knew, but now it's being overtly displayed. You don't have to hide your racial attitudes anymore. And so people are now in our country having to look for an enemy among ourselves. It's not so much just, looking for an enemy outside or, I remember the Cuban Missile Crisis and when the USSR was an enemy and, we fought a war in Vietnam. Hey, Sean, good morning. Lisa, good morning. Rita, good morning. Nita, good morning. We fought, in wars with enemies, but now the enemies seem to be within. As a matter of fact, the enemies are within. So, we don't need to have a country where Republicans and Democrats look at each other as enemies. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. That wasn't the way it was in years past. But we're in such a chaotic situation. We're in such a chaotic position that we've allowed ourselves to get there. Everybody is blaming everybody else. Everyone is blaming everybody else. We're blaming some folks. They're blaming some folks. Again, the Republicans are blaming the Democrats and vice versa. Everybody's blaming everybody else. There is no vision. There is no vision. And the Bible says where if we lack vision, the people perish. And guess what? People are perishing. As we speak, people are perishing. And so I just want to, encourage all of us to, number one, be aware of what's happening in our country, in our surroundings. Number two, I must encourage us to get active in the political space, to get active as we, go about our lives, to be active and to try to be influential to others, in an intelligent kind of way. let's influence folks to go vote. Voting is a fundamental right. Voting is a fundamental right. So I may have told y'all this before, but my mother was the president of the Roosevelt Civic League when we were little kids coming up. And so she wasn't gonna leave us at home when we were really small by ourselves. She wasn't gonna get a babysitter because that cost money. So we went to Civic League meeting, and we knew that we had to go and we had to sit down and we had to behave and we had to be quiet. And so I guess while we were there and sitting down and, pretty much behaving as best we probably could and being as quiet as we possibly could, because we knew if she said something, she meant it. Dee Dee, good morning. Sharon, good morning. She meant it if she said it. And so we took in a lot of things. And I think we learned things about Robert's Rules of Order, how to conduct a meeting. But more than that, we heard people, this is in the 50s and 60s, but we heard people, our neighbors, who were concerned about their community and who were taking steps and making strides to do something. And I know in me, and I'm sure in my brother and sister, that it sort of instilled in us this desire to be good citizens, a desire and a knowledge that we have to help each other in community, to an understanding that if you want something, you have to go out and work for it. And it's not just about wanting something for yourself, but if you want something for people in your community, James, good morning, then you have to go out and work for it. And so that's what I'm encouraging us to do right now. I'm encouraging us to go out and work for what we want. It's hard to believe that we have an administration in the White House that embraces racism, that denies structural racism, that influences a Congress that is self-serving and flexes power when it shouldn't be flexed. There are a lot of things that we have the power to do that we ought not do. Somebody needs to tell the folks in the Senate that. Somebody needs to tell the Republicans in the Senate that. Yes, you have the power to make this decision and to bring in a new justice, which is a lifetime position. You have the power to do it, but should you do it? Keep in mind that the Democratic candidate for president running against Trump won the popular vote in this country. And because we have an electoral college and our president is elected on a state-by-state basis, not a vote-by-vote basis, a state-by-state basis, not a vote-by-vote basis, then you still have to respect that the will of more than half of the voters was for someone else to be in the White House. Well, that didn't happen, and we get that. But we have to make sure, or they need to make sure, that they are taking care of the will of the people. Obamacare, and I really hate that we are calling the Affordable Health Care Obamacare. Good morning, Patrice. I hate we're calling it that because all that does is it stokes this racial animus that a lot of folks who really are still mad that we had a black president for 8 years. There are people out there that are still mad, and a lot of those folks are the reason that Trump is in office. But at least half of our folks want the Affordable Care system to stay in place like it is and enhance it as opposed to throwing it away. And we don't even know what we're throwing it away for. There is no plan on the table. And so I'm just encouraging us to try to make sense of this thing. I'm encouraging us to go out and vote. It's not enough just to be registered as a voter. We have to go out and vote. So that's the message today. We're in a chaotic system. We need to go out and vote. Oh, by the way, I want to just make sure that we were talking about supporting Black businesses. So we did a wine tasting. Hey, Raymond Johnson. We did a wine tasting last night. So the McBride's, I like wine. Some of you might. If you don't, it's it's okay. But we have to figure out how to support Black folks. So we found out, my wife found out, Marquita found out that there is a Black wine distributor. It's a international company. It's called McBride Sisters. So, support them, support all of our Black businesses. Be sure that you talk this election up. Again, it is very, very important that we get out and we exercise our rights and make our voices heard. Even in a presidential election in a red state, we need to show up. We need to show out. Again, I listened to our program tonight in the Black on the Voice America Radio Network. You'll hear my good friend, Katrina Norris Carter. I just want all of you to have a great, wonderful, safe, and blessed day. This is Bob Dickerson with In the Black.